When you can do this and when you can master this, oh, let me tell you, there's so, life just becomes fun. Your goals, your manifestations, all of that stuff, it just becomes this fun, process. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Whitley Jane, and this is the place to be when it comes to stepping into your purpose and becoming the best version of yourself. And so today I want to talk about how you can leverage the power of co-creating with the universe and while trusting the process of manifesting your goals, your dreams, your desires. One thing that I have found, even just in my own experience, is many years ago, I was very much the type of person who has always been a manifester, someone who's always been goal driven. But one thing that I noticed back then was that I came at my goals from such a masculine type of energy. And when I talk about masculine energy is the energy of doing. So it's very action oriented, right? And I had to learn over the process of my journey to really balance that energy with feminine energy. And what I mean by feminine energy is being in a state of flow, a state of creativity, trusting, and then also allowing your intuition to really guide you as well. And so when you can harness the two and really be connected with your inner being and with higher power, you really generate this very powerful, magnetic, and unstoppable type of energy that is pure magic when it comes to manifesting and getting your goals. So I want to talk to you about how you can do this, how you can leverage that power so that you can really have fun when it comes to manifesting your goals, being able to be in that flow when synchronicities and magic starts to happen. And I think you'll know what I mean by this when I start to give examples. So let's just dive right into it. So the first thing that is key to this is really being in alignment, being in that state of flow, right? And I talk about this in some of my other episodes when it comes to being in that state of flow, how to get there and really how to stay there. So what I mean by being in a state of flow is being connected with your inner being, having that strong spiritual connection with higher power. And so there are so many ways that you can do this, and that really is just taking time out of your day, whether that's doing meditation. For some people that doesn't work. Sometimes I have a challenge when it comes to meditating, but there are other forms of being connected spiritually and being connected to your inner being, your intuition. And so some of those other ways that you can do that is by, some people love to go out in nature. Some people love to journal. Some people love to sit in prayer. There's so many ways that you can become connected with your inner being. And it's really just about shutting out all the noise, shutting out, all of the exterior things that kind of distract us, our phones, social media, things like that, and really just coming to a calm, peaceful stillness and being connected. So that is the number one first thing that you really want to do is start to cultivate that relationship, that connection to spirit, to your inner being, to higher power. Have you ever felt you had this feeling of you should do something or you should call this person? You couldn't really logically make sense of it with your mind, but you just had that feeling, right? That's what I'm talking about. When you're so connected and plugged in, you will get those little hunches, you will get those little inspired ideas, those little inspired action steps. And those are actually key. Those are little ways that the universe is beginning to co-create with you to bringing in your manifestation, your goal closer to you, right? And so being plugged in, being in that state of flow, being connected is so important in getting those getting that guidance, getting those action steps. The second part to that is keeping your vibration elevated. And what I mean by this is being in a state of positivity. And I know when we hear the term like be positive, it's so overrated, but there's a lot that goes to that. There's a lot of truth behind positivity, right? And so if you are in an energetic state of negativity, it's going to be very hard for you to stay in alignment, to be in that flow, and to be connected. It's going to be very hard for you, and it's going to be very hard for you to manifest your goals and your manifestations. If you think about the ocean and like the waves, right? Like a surfer knows how to knows when to move, and and knows when to wait, right? And when they know when to move, they ride that wave, right? And they ride it so like smooth and effortlessly, right? But it's almost like this flow, this dance with the ocean of knowing when to move and knowing when to be still, right? And so you really it's no different with ourselves when it comes to co-creating with the universe. It's knowing when it's time to move and knowing when to be still. And that's the next part I'm going to get into, is trusting that process, trusting the process of your manifestations, your goals, right? And so you really start to cultivate this deep trust within yourself, within like your own inner being and your own, inner guidance system when you're plugged into the universe, right? When you're plugged in spiritually, you naturally know when you need to move and when you need to be still. There's going to be some times when you are in that process of manifesting something, bringing in your goal. There's going to be times when you need to move. And so being plugged in, like I said, getting those inspired ideas, those inspired action steps is so important for you to act on them, right? That is an example of moving, right? Moving and co-creating. So the universe is like, call that person. You call that person, and then that person says, oh, hey, like I was just thinking about you the other day. I have somebody who I want you to meet. And all of a sudden you start to act on that. And then you meet with this person, and then a door just completely opens up that is bringing you closer to your goals, right? But if you don't act on those inspired ideas, then you're creating that resistance, and it's very hard, because then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're like what's happening? I'm not getting any movement. And then you're starting to like force action. You're starting to like kind of go into that that energy of control, right? And so this sort of co-creation method, it really takes a lot of trust. And so that's the energy of like knowing when to move. Now, the other side of that is knowing when to be still. I am a firm believer, and it's taken me so many years to really like embrace this and embody it and understand it, but knowing when to be still. As humans, we want it now, we want it, we want it yesterday, and we want things to just move, right? But when we're co-creating, and by the way, co-creation is a beautiful experience. It's such a beautiful journey of surprises and magic, and like just so many miraculous things happen when you co-create with the universe. And so when you come up against a period of stillness can kind of come out as being very uncomfortable, right? And so in these moments of being like, okay, things are happening, I've been moving, I've been taking action, but then you come up against a period of like, nothing's happening. Like, it's just like, almost like a feeling of like stagnation, like, but you're antsy. You're like, I feel like I'm so close to my goal. I feel like I'm so like, it's within, arm's reach, but nothing's moving, nothing's happening. And so many people make the mistake of now going out and just like taking all of this different type of action with no intention, but only to like force that thing to like come to them, right? And a lot of the times when people do this, they create so much resistance, because hear me out, guys. This is the moment for you to be in stillness. This is the time when the universe is working behind the scenes and is lining up all the places, lining up all the people, lining up all the things so that it can provide the perfect outcome to your goal. This is the moment for you to be in stillness. This is the time when the universe is working behind the scenes and is lining up all the places, lining up all the people, lining up all the things so that it can provide the perfect outcome to your goal. And so it's really important for you to be still during this time. No action is required of you during this time, but it's one of the most challenging times for people because they feel like they need to be doing something. They feel like they need to be moving. They feel like they need to be taking action, right? When in fact, it's a moment of rest. This is a time to be still. This is a time to rest because trust is so important. This is the time when the universe is actually working on your behalf behind the scenes and doing all the things that you have no idea, like what is going on, but you just need to be still. And when the perfect timing, when everything is lined up for you in divine timing, that's what we call it, divine timing, you will know when it's time to move. And when it's time to move, usually when you come out of that stillness, it's like go time. Everything just starts to like flood in for you, right? Everything just starts to flood in and all of a sudden you're moving again. So if you think about the seasons, right? The seasons of, summertime. Summertime's very busy for people, right? We'll talk like in Canada, right? So we'll use Canada. Summertime's very busy. People are on the go. People are vacation. People are doing things, right? And then there's like this slow period of going into fall and then into winter. And then winter is like that period of rest where people tend to hibernate. I know here in Canada, it's cold, it's winter, it's snow. Like people hibernate, people stay in, people are not as like on the go, right? And so you really want to think about when we're co-creating, we're going through those seasons of we're go, moving, taking action, but then we're going into a period of like rest, right? And then all of a sudden spring emerges, right? And we start to pick up momentum, and then we're full flood into that action, and all of a sudden everything that we have been doing, planting those seeds, nurturing those seeds, nurturing those things, and then everything comes to fruition and we get to enjoy the manifesting, we get to enjoy the goal that we have created for ourselves. And so ultimately, guys, it is a process of trusting, of surrendering, of taking action, of knowing when to be still, but really being so plugged in and so embodied in your own intuition, your own inner being, that you just ebb and flow, right? Ebb and flow like the surfer riding that wave. Ebb and flow like the change of the seasons, right? And so when you can do this and when you can master this, let me tell you, life just becomes fun. Your goals, your manifestations, all of that stuff, it just becomes this fun like process, this fun journey. People say, I've heard this over and over and over, trust the journey, enjoy the journey, right? It's not about the goal, it's actually about the journey itself. And so this process really allows you to embody that journey and to have fun with it. So let me know if you have questions about this, and let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. I hope you guys liked this episode, and like always, I will see you guys next week. Bye for now.